Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to part 3, and I'm moving my camera just a little bit. Welcome back to part 3 of the Buddy Color Along with Shelleen. And I'm just arranging a few things around here. Welcome back to part 3 of the Buddy Color Along with Shelleen. So, in part 2, you guys probably noticed that, well, I always do my little disclaimer, and I'm going to go ahead and do it for this video. For those of you that are new to this channel, I am doing this with the visual impairment, which means that I have to get pretty close to my work so I can see what I'm doing. Sometimes a lot of the times, I shouldn't say sometimes, a lot of the times you will see my head or my hair in the picture because I do have to get so close, so I always do apologize for that. But I noticed in part 2 that it was happening a lot, and I think it was because I had to go in and do quite a few of these little details and stuff. And so it was getting to be kind of where I had to edit out quite a bit because I wasn't really taught well. I edited out as much as I could and just kept in like the the main points. It was still a pretty long video, about 45 or 48 minutes, something like that. But what I thought we would go ahead and do in part 3, and I'm kind of experimenting a little bit, just to make, looking to see if we have everything in frame, but I'm going to try to position the camera just a little bit differently and see if maybe that will help a little bit. And then also I went ahead and tied my hair back because, it was getting to be really, really in the way. So, because I got in a perm last week, and it's got a lot of volume right now, which is what I like, but when I'm trying to do this coloring, it can really get in the way when I'm trying to do this coloring. So I'm going to try to make sure that we have all of this in frame, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on our coloring. So again, I'm going to do my little disclaimer and just say that I'm doing this with the visual impairment. So it just means that I have to get close to my work, and I'm hoping that repositioning the camera a little bit will kind of help with some of this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to take this light aqua pencil, and we're going to go ahead and start on the water. Now the other day, like when I was doing this, I did color the water kind of greenish, and I thought, it didn't quite look right. Now I know that you can have green water, especially when you're on a pond. Water does kind of turn like a greenish color when you're on a pond, but I wanted to go ahead and make it more blue, and I thought maybe this light aqua would work out really well. And I just always like to make sure that I have everything in frame here. Yeah. So I'm gonna try this light aqua, and we're gonna do some shading and stuff, of course, with some other colors and all that stuff. But I'm kind of doing like a bigger area right now. So I'm hoping that I can keep my head out of the way as much as I can here. So not much has really happened since last time I was with you guys. I actually recorded part 2. Today is Friday the 26th? Yeah, Friday the 26th. And so I recorded part 2 on Friday the 26th. This is also Friday the 26th, so welcome to part 3. But I wanted to go ahead and try to get as much done today as I could because like I said in part 2, we're going to be busy tomorrow, tasting some barbecue. So I wanted to get as much done as I could, and it is a thundery, rainy day. It kind of came on like real quick, like real sudden. Yeah, it kind of came on like real quick and real sudden. So I'm trying to just go ahead and color a little bit. If it gets real bad, I'm gonna have to go in there and shut off my computer because I don't like to have my computer on when it's storming. So I'm just gonna bring, because the water just kind of kind of trails off out here on the edges just a little bit. That's what I'm going to do with this pencil. And I think I am going to add a pastel background. Turbo! And my dog Turbo, he does not like the storms, and so when it starts to thunder, he gets to be a little cry puppy. Hey! Enough! Sometimes getting after him helps, sometimes it doesn't. But Shelleen, like, she was talking about how all the dogs that she's had love the snow, but they hate the rain. And yeah, we get that too. Like, our dogs hate to go outside when it's raining. Rain of any kind, forget it. Rain of any kind, just forget it. So I'm going to take, I've got a light smattering down of this, and I'm kind of coloring the water just kind of out of the lines even a little bit too, just to, I'm making like some real faint pencil strokes. And I think I'm going to, like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and add some pastel on this at the end. So then I'm going to take the I think this is Mediterranean blue, and I'm going to go over some of the darker stuff so that we can maybe blend in. Maybe we can blend in like into the lighter color here. So I'm just gonna bring it over like this, and I'm just kind of coloring a little bit on the lines, and I'll do some blending and shading with the darker blue, or with the lighter blue. I mean, you know, with the aqua, which is a blue green. Aqua is kind of like a blue green. So I'm just making just a little bit of some dark spaces here, and I think I'll fill it in around this little lily pad right there too, just to hopefully try to get things to blend in a little bit nicer. Okay, so there's some more right there, and okay, so there's that side, but I'm going to bring some around this way. Just a smidgen of darker right there. And I'm going to blend some more in with the lighter color, but we're going to now Shelleen used some white Posca pen in the water. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to use Posca in the water. Like, she made some white lines. I think I'm just going to try to blend it in with the blues, and we'll see how that's going to work a little bit. So I'm kind of just going over some of the dark stuff with this darker blue. And I sure hope you guys can see that. And I'm hoping that repositioning this camera a little bit helps. If it helps, I just have to remember how I had it. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Make some heavier stuff in there. And then we'll go back over it and we'll blend it in. There's some of that. I'll just kind of take it. I'm just gonna kind of take it and make it just slightly darker in certain areas here. So now with doing some of these finer details, I know I have to get close, so I'm going to apologize again for the big head. But hopefully with my hair out of the way, it helps a little bit, and also with the repositioning of the camera. we will see when I go to edit this thing. Alright, so then I'm just gonna darken this up just a little bit. And get some dark stuff right there. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of dark in this. So I'll go in with the Prismacolor marker and blend some of this out. Okay. Okay, so there's some right there. Okay. So anyway, not too much again has been going on. There is a new game pack for The Sims 4 coming out, and EA did their live stream today. I didn't catch it live, so I'm gonna go back and watch the replay. I didn't catch it live because I was making videos for you guys, but that is okay. I can always go back and watch it. I hardly ever catch events live. I really don't. I hardly ever. So I just watch it when I can. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see how this is going to look with the Prismacolor marker to blend it in. And we'll just make sure that I don't lose any of my pencils. I have them on the table next to me here. So, alright, so I'm actually going to take the chisel tip, and we're just going to start blending, because I'm not really worried about staying within lines too much on this, because this is a bigger area here now, and I just want the colors to kind of blend together a little bit. So I'm just kind of going over all of it with this chisel tip, and just to try not to get it onto that lily pad, because we don't want the lily pad to turn blue. So it kind of still sort of looks like greenish water, but it still looks quite a bit like regular water, I think. So we're just gonna keep blending all this. And again, I'm just using the chisel tip on the Prismacolor marker, Prismacolor blender marker. And actually, I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to add maybe just a little bit more of the blue on the bottom part there. And this water itself, I think, looks pretty good. Just like so. And I'm going to clean off my marker. That actually doesn't look half bad. That does not look half bad. So I'm going to take the light color again, and I'm just gonna put it on just a little bit darker over here, and then I'll add some of the dark to it. Okay. So then I'm going to add just a little bit of the dark stuff right here. So I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow for our barbecue tasting. I really don't want it to rain tomorrow for our barbecue tasting, but who knows what is going to happen. Sometimes you never know about the weather. Sometimes you just never know about the weather. Again, I'm going to come back with the chisel tip. Now, I want to get some of these Prismacolor markers. Shelleen, she swears by them. She loves them. And I would love to have some for myself. The blender marker, I think, is part of that family. Now, I don't know... now, there is the brush tips on the Prismacolor markers. So I'm just bringing some of this over on the edge to kind of just blend it off into the not stratosphere, but wherever, you know, off into the horizon or whatever the heck you want to call it. Now Shelleen, she likes the obviously the brush tips, and I want to get, like, when I do get some Prismacolor markers, I do want to get the brush tips. And I don't know if the blender marker itself comes in a brush tip or if it's just the chisel tip. I don't know. Okay, I think our water is pretty much done. Now what I need to do is I need to come back and finish around this foliage here and kind of color some more of the pot. And then I need to do our little ducky. So I'm gonna look for some colors. All right, so I'm going to take Scarlet Lake and I'm gonna color around this thing over here, like where the flower pot is, kind of just underneath and in between the leaves. And then I'm gonna bring it around to the rim. Now it's a different color than what I used over here, but I think once I blend it, I think it'll work. So we're gonna go ahead and just experiment with it, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna take it, and what I need to do is I'm gonna kind of bring it around the rim of this flower pot. So yeah, I really do not want it to rain for our barbecue tasting tomorrow, because that would really suck. That really would suck. Now I'm gonna have to color the soil too, and I think the soil is more of a brown color. I'm just gonna color around the rim of this little flower pot here and try not to get onto the stem or Mr. Ducky's legs here. Now there is a little dark line right there, so I'm going to press just a little bit harder, kind of where that rim is. I think once I blend into the actual bigger part, like the underneath side here, I think it'll look pretty nice. And then I'll blend into the other color. Again, I'm trying to be mindful of my head. Now some soil is actually pretty red. I think I'm going to bring it over here, because I'll blend all that together. Now I'll have to do the soil, but that I think is going to be more of a brown color. So I'm going to go in between this foliage. And I hope you guys can see this. And I'm going to go kind of light, because I don't want this to be super dark. I've got it kind of super dark up here, but I don't want this to be real dark. I kind of want it to be just more of an afterthought, where it kind of blends up into here. So I'm not putting as much pressure, and I think I'm going to have to bring more green up into here because this looks a little bit bare, like on those little things right there. So I don't think I got quite enough green on there, which I'm going to have to try to fix. So when I go to blend this Scarlet Lake into up here, I'm going to have to make sure that that I get everything in between these green, where I want the green to be. And I'll have to bring some more green into this, I think. So I'm kind of running out of things to gab about, you know, since I've already filmed a video today. But I still wanted to go ahead and do this. Because it was needed. Definitely needed. Because I do want to get this picture done. Shelleen completed hers, so I want to try to get mine done. And we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Let's see, that's another green leaf right there. I don't want to get any of this red where it shouldn't be. Okay. That, I think, is the end of the pot. Okay, so I'm going to take the Prismacolor marker and we're gonna blend in this stuff on the pot, on the flower pot. That kind of sounded a little ominous. Yeah, the pot. Nope, I don't mean the toilet. That I do not mean. I'm just gonna take and go over it a little bit to just make it pop and go bold. Just to kind of blend it just a little bit. Yep. Okay. So there's some of that. So then I'm just going to take it and just make sure that it goes down into this part here. I'm probably going to have to bring in a little bit more green to kind of make this a little bit bolder, because with the Prismacolor marker, this is making a statement. This is definitely making a statement. I think I'm going to have to bring in a little bit more green, probably a darker green for some of this. And with these finer details, guys, I know I am having to get very close. Okay. And I'm just going to make that pop a little bit right there. So who knows how much I'm going to have to edit out this time. Hopefully not too much. But we will see. Alright, so I think I need to find a little bit more green and touch this up right here. Okay, let's go ahead and take some moss green and we'll just kind of touch up this pot just a little bit. I know it's not the same green that I used before, but I just kind of want to get, it so it's not, there we go. I want to get it so it's so it kind of differentiates between the red and the green here. I'm just going to go over the top of it just a little bit, just to just to give it a little bit of oomph. And I'm sure with these finer details, again, my head is going to be in the way. I apologize again. So, and I'll blend this out like I usually do. Okay. So I think just fill in a little bit there. Alright, so then I'm going to go ahead and take the marker and just bring it down just a little bit. Like so. Boy, I'm like talking about just the coloring and not really chatting about anything else. I don't know how much of this I'm going to end up editing out. The storm kind of bums me out, actually. You know, like, I was looking forward to kind of a nice day, but it decided to have some different ideas. Alright. So I guess that's pretty good. I'm going to probably just leave well enough alone so I don't really bork it up. Don't want to do that. And then I should just go ahead and work on our little ducky. Alright. We can work on our little ducky. And then there's him, and then except for the butterfly, I think we'll be done with this except for the pastels. I still haven't decided if I'm going to do a pastel, but I'm probably going to do a pastel. Alright guys, I'm going to grab some yellows and oranges, and I will be right back. Okay, so what we have here is we have, what I thought we would do is, I thought we'd go ahead and color the whole ducky with canary yellow. Whoops. Yikes. I thought we'd go ahead and color the whole duck with canary yellow. And then we have a sunburst yellow that I thought we would go ahead and do some darker areas on him. And then I have a neon orange, which I thought we would go ahead and color the beak and then maybe do some accents with that. So let's go ahead and start with our lightest yellow, and then we'll go ahead and work on our little ducky. So we'll go ahead and start up here at the top of him, and again, I just want to try to make sure we're in frame because I don't want to miss out on anything here. So we're just going to go ahead and start with this whole yellow thing here with our lightest yellow, and then we'll put the darker areas with the other yellow. So I haven't really been chatting too much except for about the coloring. I don't know. I'm kind of getting a little tired. Like the storms, like I said, just really kind of bum me out, and it kind of messes with my lighting a little bit in here. So it's not the best thing for me to do this color, you know, when it's rainy and stormy. I mean, we got lights, at least the power's not out, but it kind of affects things a little bit. Now I will also go back in with the Prismacolor marker, and we will fill in as we need to. And we'll do his beak, that orange color. I could even grab another orange and just you know, shade it and stuff, but I think I'll just make like a little bit of put like a little bit of the orange there, and then just bring in the Prismacolor marker, and then just kind of bring that color down, and then it'll look like it's two different colors. sometimes I like to do that. I've done that with my watercolors, and that gives it kind of a nice effect. Okay. I may have to stop here in a minute, guys, and go shut off my computer. We'll have to see. Whoops. You know what? I got out of the stupid lines. I'm like coloring away, and I wasn't paying attention to what the heck I was doing. Yikes. Okay, so I don't need this right there. Because it's not part of our ducky. Yikes. Alright. And we could make his tail feathers kind of orangey too. Which I think would look cute. Okay. And I didn't bring in my Faber-Castell brush eraser, like with the little brush on the end of it. I just didn't do that at the moment. Okay. So we'll do the light yellow color on his whole body. So Shelleen was talking about how she dislocated her shoulder when she was taking her dog out to do the business. And that's never happened to me. Like I've never been injured, you know, from taking one of the dogs out. You know, with all the dogs that we've had, that's never happened to me. But I did injure my knees very severely almost 20 years ago, because I was struck by a car as a pedestrian when I was out doing some errands. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving in 1997. Oh joy. And I was walking across the road, and the driver that was driving did not see me, and I did not see him, and we went crash, boom, bang, and I knocked myself silly for probably a couple, I don't know, maybe a couple minutes or something like that. Ended up with a concussion, and bruised up my ribs real bad. But the biggest thing was that I tore ligaments in both knees. And so I ended up with major reconstruction surgery on both of my knees. And let me tell you, it was painful. It was painful. Make sure I got the right one. Okay. Yeah, sunburst yellow. It was painful. And yeah, I mean, I hurt in places I never thought existed or never knew existed. So yeah. I don't recommend going to play in the traffic. But yeah, my knees have never ever been the same since. And my knees have never ever been the same since. I can't really run on them anymore. I was never a good runner to begin with, but I can't run on them anymore at all. I can't really kneel on them anymore, so getting down on my hands and knees is tough. And I feel like after that all happened, like after everything was said and done, I aged about 10 years. Like it just made me feel like I had aged about 10 years. And yeah, so it was quite an ordeal. Not a very fun experience, I'll tell you that. So I always say, like, when you're out and about doing something, be careful, because you just never know what can happen. So I'm just making some dark areas in our little ducky with the sunburst yellow. I think that's what it's called. So I'm gonna do his tail feathers and his beak in the orangey color. I'll start with the sunburst yellow on the tail feathers and stuff, and then shade it into the orange. But I think we're gonna end up doing a part 4 on this video because I don't think I'm gonna get our little ducky done. I don't think I am. We have the ducky and we have the butterfly to do, and then I have the soil to do on the plant, or in the flower pot, I should say. So. Well, the thunder seems like it's going to stop now. I haven't heard any more lately. I haven't heard any other thunder in a little bit yet. So we shall see. I think after I get done with everything, I'm going to put some stickles on the flowers anyway. Okay, then I'm going to bring in the lighter yellow and just kind of go over the areas here that we just did so that we can blend it and shade it a little bit. And I think I'm going to bring in the Prismacolor marker just to make it pop a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so we'll do some more sunburst yellow on the, and I'm hitting the camera, guys, sorry. So what I'm going to do is we're going to bring in some more sunburst yellow just kind of on here. Because I want to kind of get some color variation just a little bit on this. I think that would look really cute. This ducky is so adorable. He really is. He is so adorable. And Shelleen's picture turned out really nice, guys. I mean, she does a beautiful job on her stuff. She is very talented. Her stuff always turns out really nice. Even her grayscale fairy, like, I know she doesn't really like that picture, but you know, under the circumstances for like what she had to deal with, that fairy did turn out pretty. I don't know if I could do half as good of a job as she did because hers turned out really nice. So I'm gonna bring it over here. Oh, well, I thought the thunder quit, but apparently not, guys. Apparently not. Okay. I think I'm gonna do, oh, excuse me. I think I'm gonna do the legs a little bit darker down this way. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna bring in the blender marker, and just see what we can do with it, and just make. Because I still need to do the tail feathers, and I think I'm going to do that in the darker yellow and then the orange, because I think that'll shade very nicely. So I'm going to bring in this blender. Not the eraser, but the blender marker. Okay. And let's see what we can do with our little ducky here. We'll just see how much we can make him pop. I think this is going to look pretty nice. I'm just trying to concentrate on what I'm doing just to try to get this to blend a little bit. Okay, clean off my marker. Maybe we'll try this chisel tip on the bigger areas here. Okay. So I think he is turning out really cute. I mean, he was very cute before, but you know, when he gets colored in, he's really cute. And I got to figure out what color I'm going to make his eyes. Still got to do the beak. Grab this darker yellow right there and just mix it in a tad. Okay. Okay, so what do you think of him so far? What do you think of him so far? Okay, we're going to go ahead and grab the darker yellow, the sunburst yellow, and then we'll start on the tail feathers, and then we'll do some accents and stuff with the orange. So again, I'm just going to try to make sure I'm in frame. That's what we need to be doing. So I'm just going to go over everything. Now, ducks, I think mostly are orange or yellow. Of course, you get some white ducks. You can have some white ducks, which is pretty cool. I think I've even seen some darker ducks, like some darker colored ducks. So I guess it just kind of all depends on what breed of duck there is. I wonder how many breeds of ducks there are, honestly. I don't know much about ducks. I do not know much about ducks, except they go quack, quack. Okay, so there's some tail feathers down here. So then what I'm going to try to do is we're going to take the orange, okay, and I'm just going to go kind of onto the ends of it a little bit, and we're gonna blend it out. We're going to accent it with some darker. And I'm pressing a little bit hard to make that orange stand out. Not enough to burnish the paper, but just enough to make that orange kind of pop out just a little bit. And because we're going to blend this back into the yellow with our Prismacolor marker. So I want to get Alright guys, I gotta get close a minute so I can get to the finer details here. That's the trouble with doing like some of these real small spaces, is I have to get really close so I can see what I'm doing. Yes, indeed. Okay, so okay. All right, so I'm going to, let's see how it looks with the marker. Ooh, I think this is gonna turn out nice, guys. I think this is gonna turn out pretty nice. Oof, I may have to stop here in a little bit. My back is starting to hurt. Like when I bend over like this for a long time, my back starts to hurt. So I might have to call it quits after a little bit. I want to try to get as much done as I can though. But I'm running out of stuff to chat about. Like, I don't seem like I'm in as much of a chatty mood in this video as I was in the other one. It just seems like, I don't know, it's really weird. Like, the storm kind of just bummed me out. It will often do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the darker yellow and the orange, and we're going to do his little beak. I think we're almost done with this, guys, but we're going to do his beak, and I'm probably going to do a little bit of work off camera. I'm probably going to do just a little bit of work off camera so that I can just put some finishing touches on him, and I'll probably do the butterfly off camera because I know I'm going to have to get really close to see that. So, okay. I do know that I'm going to have to get pretty close to the butterfly, so I'm probably going to end up doing the butterfly and maybe his eyes and stuff off camera. And then, I don't know, I'm probably going to have to come back and do another part anyway. So I'll see. I'll do some tweaks maybe off camera, and then I'll come back and put the finishing touches in another video, I think. And then that's probably going to be that. But we are almost done with him. We're getting pretty darn close. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and take the orange, and we're going to do a little bit of shading on his little beak here. I want to make it mostly orange, but I think this is really pretty mixed in with that yellow. I think this is really pretty mixed in with that yellow. I might even be able to bring in just a tiny bit of, well, maybe I won't. I was thinking that maybe I could bring in just a little bit of red to really accent it, but I think this orange is going to be good enough. And okay. So, alright, time for the marker. I think maybe I'll see what I can do with the chisel tip. Okay, so we'll just go over it with the little chisel tip. Okay. All right, guys, so I think our little ducky here is done. And I think that brings me to the end of this video. What actually I need to do is eyes. There's still a few more little tweaks I need to do. But I think our ducky is just about done. He's so cute. So I'm going to do some little tweaks off camera. I need to see what I'm going to do with the soil. And I'm probably going to put some pastels on this. So I'll come back in another video and I'll show you what I have done off camera. And we'll put the finishing touches on this guy. So here is what he looks like. Here is what he looks like so far right now. So we got quite a bit done on him again. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And while you are at it, click on the bell so that you can be notified when I upload new videos. You have a great day, and we will see you in the next video. All right, bye, guys.